Because if you fight, you may die. But years from now, and I'm not saying years from now, I say 50 years from now, American, your children, perhaps for sure, your grandchildren will curse the day to have you as grandfathers and grandmothers, for you have done nothing to fight for their freedom. And I have a wonderful verse here in the Bible. It's very important, really, to understand why country destroy, why people destroy. What causes America to lose the power which God has given, the freedom and the beauty of this land? Why we lose it? It's very simple. Because of this verse. In Hosea, that's a book in the Old Testament, chapter 4, verse 6, the Bible said,
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee.
It's about knowledge. We don't know anything about Islam, and Islam is growing in our country. Islam is not growing in America to be another religion. Islam is growing in America to take over America. We have no idea what Islam is, and the worse than that, we don't want to know what Islam is. Not only we're ignorant of Islam, we're arrogant, we're not interested to learn anything about Islam. And I know this to be a fact, for I call churches all over this country. And literally, for every 100 church we call, we get 1 or 2 who are interested to have me to speak and tell the truth about Islam. So it's not because there's not somebody here to tell the truth. No, we don't want to know. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou rejected knowledge. Rejection of knowledge is the state of America. We don't want to know anything about Islam. And believe it or not, as I travel all over this country and I meet with people all over the state, I start talking with them about Islam. When I get serious about quoting verses from the Quran or quoting statement of Muhammad in the Hadith, people literally turn their back on it. They want to go away. In every court case we have been, which have something to do with honor killing or some Muslim attack in America or some Muslim way of taking over our country, was like in the case of CARE, the moment we tell the media, they come in there with their cameras and everything is great. The moment I start quoting the verse of the Quran, they turn their cameras off. It's like they're not interested. They don't want to know the truth about Islam. And that will destroy America. Not because we don't know only, we don't want to know. And that is a fact about the state of America. Now, what is freedom? We went to the dictionary to say, what does the word freedom mean? Maybe if we understand what the word freedom is, maybe we will wake up and hold on to what we got to continue to be a free world, a free country. So I found the first explanation of freedom is
the quality of being frank, open, or outspoken.
Do we have this in America today? We're losing it. Slowly, they will tell you, you can't say that, you can't say that, you can't do that. Where is the freedom of speech? Do you know that Muslims have freedom to say anything they want to say about Islam, but I, as a Christian, I cannot say anything against Islam. They will come to our universities and they say, Jesus is not the Son of God, and Jesus did not die on the cross, and he never rose from the dead. Says who? Says Muhammad. And they have no problem to say that. But I could not go in the same classroom, speak to the same student and say, Muhammad is a false prophet. Muhammad is a liar. Because they consider my speech is hate, but their speech is freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is you say all what you have, outspoken, openly, without any ties. What else about freedom? From the dictionary?
Freedom is the absence of necessity, coercion, or constraint in choice or action.
Is that where we aim into America? With the new care of Obamacare, will you be able to choose your doctor, your medicine, what procedure you want to have performed on your surgery or anything? Or they will tell you what is good for you and what they will offer you, you have to take. Freedom of choice or freedom of action. Last part, we're going to talk about freedom from the dictionary. The dictionary said,
freedom is liberation from slavery or restraint or from the power of another. Independence.
We're losing our independence in America. We're literally are going to be tied with ropes, and we have to do this because this is the only choice you have. Watch what the government is doing in America today. They literally will tell you what kind of equipment you should have in your house. How big is the TV you can run in your living room? And what temperature should your house will be? And what kind of food you can eat? What kind of drink you can drink? And you can have this. This is losing our freedom. That's not what freedom is about. What does the Quran teach about freedom? Very important question. As I work in my translations of the Quran with lots of help, people help me from all over the world. As a matter of fact, some of these people were Muslim doctors and Muslim imams who became a Christian. But as I work through this translation of the Quran, we read the Quran exactly 26 times. We just keep reading one more time. Make sure that every sentence has been translated right, every word put in the right place, and the comma and the period and the dot and the capital letter and the not capital. I mean, we read the Quran 26 times. As I read the Quran in 4 years, I never found the word freedom exist in the Quran. What does the Quran teach about freedom? There's no freedom in the Quran. The word hurriya, which freedom in Arabic language, never exists in the Quran. But Muslims in America say, we believe in freedom. We love America. We love the freedom of America. Is that true? Is that what Muslims really believe? Is that what the Quran teach? That they should love our freedom? And I'll show you a picture in a minute here, which is this picture will speak for another, not 1,000 word, but a 10,000 word, that Islam and freedom don't fit together. It's like water and oil. Don't mix together. But the word free man or free woman exists in the Quran. And let's look at just a few verses of what the Quran teach about free man or free woman. For example, in chapter 2, verse 178, the Quran said,
O you who have believed, retaliation is decreed on you for the murdered, the free man for the free, and the slave for the slave, and the female for the female.
Retaliation. Revenge. See, we don't use a court system in Islam. You go to a judge and you have a jury to say, this person commit a crime, he must be put to death. No. If somebody commit a crime against you, you revenge equal to what damage happened to you. If I killed a slave of some free man, they don't kill me because I'm a free man. They pick up one of my slaves and they kill him. If I kill somebody's wife, they don't kill me, the free man, but they pick up my wife and kill her. And that's what we call barbaric way of life. That's why when the Shia blow up a Sunni mosque, the Sunni go back and blow up a Shia mosque. And there are obviously innocent people in both mosques. But since they lost a mosque, they have to revenge equal to what they have lost, and they blow up another mosque from the other denomination of Islam. That is the way of life in Islam. Retaliation. But notice what the word said here. The free man for the free. That is one verse in the Quran talk about free man, not a slave. How about this next verse? Chapter 4, verse 25. The Quran says,
And whoever among you who cannot marry the free believing women, so have sex with those whom your right hand possesses from your young believing girls.
Free believing woman. To marry a free believing woman, you have to pay a dowry. And a dowry is expense, it's money. It's camels, it's gold. And if you cannot afford to marry a free believing woman, then you can have sex, not marry, but have sex with unlimited number of slaves. Here is another verse in the Quran talk about the word free woman. How about 492?
And whoever kills a believer by mistake will be bound to free a believer's neck from slavery. And the blood money will be paid to the family of the slain unless they convert it into alms.
If a Muslim man by accident kill another Muslim man, he is the punishment, or he is bound to free a slave, a believer slave. Which, by the way, all these verses teach us that there is slavery in Islam. But here is the word, you have to free, if you kill a believer, you have to free a believer. That's the word free. But you could not find the word freedom as we understand freedom in the scripture in the Holy Bible. There is no freedom in Islam. Freedom once I longed for. And here I can share with you for hours about the struggle Christian lives through in all over the Muslim world, not just in Egypt. And I know all the time the media here, when they talk about Islam and struggle and Sharia, Islamic law, they always talk about Saudi Arabia. Well, they cannot build a mosque in ground zero because we cannot build a church or synagogue in Mecca. Excuse me, where else we can build a church? Can you build a church in Egypt? Can you build a church in any Muslim country? We should say, as long as Christian cannot build a church in all over the 57 Muslim country, Muslims should not build a mosque in America. But you say, oh, Mecca is like, this is the only place you cannot build a church. I had a very hard time in Egypt. Christians in Egypt suffer every day because they are Christian. It doesn't matter where you go. It doesn't matter if you're riding the bus, riding the train, or going to some business, or going to buy some bread, or going to buy some fruit or some vegetables. Just to enter to any business and you don't say the Muslim greeting, Assalamu alaikum, people immediately know that you are not a Muslim. And we Christians in Egypt do not use the Muslim greeting, Assalamu alaikum, but we say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And there you have a different treatment just because you're not a Muslim. We are persecuted all our life. And I wish I have a time to go through all what Christian goes through in Egypt for being a Christian, living in our own country, Egypt, the Christian nation, which used to be until Islam came and took over our country and invaded our life. Then I go to this wonderful picture and notice what the man holding in his hand. Freedom, go to hell. Why do you think this man hates freedom? That's bad. He wants freedom to go to hell. What's wrong with freedom? And then there's this picture, democracy, go to hell. What's wrong with democracy? Why Muslim hate freedom? Why Muslim hate democracy? And by the way, this picture is not taking place in Saudi Arabia or in Egypt. This picture, hello America, wake up, it's about time to wake up, is in London, England. These are the same Muslim 30 years ago, hold sign, we love freedom and we love democracy. Today, the true picture of Islam are shown to the Muslim, shown from the Muslim who live in Europe to the rest of the world. If we just open our eyes and see what's happening in England. Have you ever asked yourself this question? Why this man hate democracy? What is wrong with democracy? Why Muslims from all over the world in Iraq fighting us all the 7 years, they don't want to have Iraq to be a democracy. They don't want to have democracy in Iraq. Why? Because it stands against Islam. We don't understand this in America because we have not read the Quran, which does not teach anything about freedom, and we have not read the hadith, Muhammad saying. Listen carefully what Muhammad said in the next hadith. Can you imagine with me, if Muslims understand the Muhammad teaching of how democracy should run in a country, let me use the way of life we have here in America. Imagine with me, Senator Barack Hussein Obama running against Senator McCain, John McCain. And here is the rules. Whoever wins the election will be the President of the United States of America, and whoever lost the election must be put to death. Who do you think will run democracy in America? Can we have democracy in this way of life? No, we can't. Listen to what Muhammad taught the Muslim, how they can run their life in democracy. Muhammad said,
when the oath of allegiance has been taken for two caliphs, kill the latter of them.
Wow! This is how Muhammad wants his people to live. And Muslims live by the saying of Muhammad as well as the saying of the Quran. So two people running for the office of Khalifa. The first one, he will win. That's the person become Khalifa. And the second one must be put to death. That's how Khalifa changed in the Muslim world. You kill the first Khalifa, you get another Khalifa. That's why we don't have democracy in 57 Muslim countries the last 1400 years. And that's why we will never have democracy, neither in Iraq or in Afghanistan. Trust me in that. The only way you can have democracy in a Muslim country is to get rid of Islam and get rid of such a teaching of Muhammad. Freedom I found and I held dear. I came to America and I love this country. And I love the freedom to be able to just live, do whatever you want. If you want to work and you want to sing to Jesus while you work, and I work for myself, and nobody can tell me what not to do or what not to say. If you want to eat a sandwich, nobody can tell you. If it's a month of Ramadan and you want to eat in the middle of the day, nobody look at you like you have performed a great crime. How dare you are in Egypt, Christian, walk in the street or in a bus or somewhere, eat a sandwich in the middle of the day in Ramadan. You can't do that there. Some people get killed for eating in some Muslim country, as in Sudan, for eating during the day. Because everybody's fasting. It's Ramadan. You can speak your mind in America. You can tell what you feel about something. If you think it's not fair, you say it's not fair. Other countries around the world, there's no such a thing. It's not